Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Joffy Noodle Legs and Sullivan here. Here he is. Here he is. Hello everybody. Just having my little daily wash. Little beautiful boy. He's wet because we've just been out for his walkie, so he's had his bath. He always has a bath after his walk because he gets quite muddy because he's so white. Hey, don't we, mate? So we have a little bath. Hey, we'll wash those little feet. So cool. Yeah. Anyway, so we've had our little bath and we're all good. So I've got another film review today. Today we're looking at The Ninth Gate, starring Johnny Depp. This is directed by Roman Polanski. So this edition, it's a DVD. It's a Universal DVD. Just standard. It's got a few extra features on there. It's got trailers. It's got a featurette. It's got an audio soundtrack commentary from Roman Polanski. So there's a few special features on here, which is quite cool. So what I'll do, I'll give you a little synopsis on the film, as I always do. The film starts off with a guy writing a letter in his office. So he's writing a letter in his office, and as you can see, he's writing a suicide letter, and he ends up hanging himself. And then we cut to Johnny Depp, the main star of the film, and he's with another family who are thinking of selling some books.
Rare editions here. Are you sure you want to sell them all?
They're no use to Father. Not anymore. Not since he's been this way. His library was his whole world. Now it's just a painful memory.
I understand. Well, at a rough preliminary estimate, you have a collection here worth around $600,000. Yes, or thereabouts. I've picked out one or two volumes that merit special attention. It's for Seeley's.
So he's going through all those books of them, and he's really overpriced them. And there's a reason why, because there's a set of books there that he does want that are quite valuable, and he's sort of like telling them there's not really much valuable, and I can take them off your hands now if you like, and I can sort of buy them from you now, because now they've been tempted by all that money, thinking, oh, we're going to get all this money for that. It doesn't matter if we let those go for that price.
Good. Take it off your hands right away.
How much were you thinking of?
Oh, I couldn't go more than 4,000, 4,200 tops.
Fine. You here?
Oh, Wicked?
You didn't waste much time.
Listen, there's a small fortune in there. Help yourself.
You're a vulture, Corsa. A vulture.
It isn't in our business.
You'd stoop to anything.
Turkey Hody Baibaro? You bet I would.
Unscrupulous. Thoroughly unscrupulous.
Happy hunting.
Then as you see, he's managed to grab those books, and then we catch Johnny going to see his friend who owns a rare bookshop.
Just got off the phone with Wicked. Spitting blood.
Really? What's his problem?
He said you're a double-dealing, money-grubbing bastard. He thought you had that deal sewed up.
And this is where Johnny shows him his books that he's managed to get at a really quite a cheap price. I think he got them about 4,000, 5,000, and they're probably worth like about 100,000.
All 4 volumes. Son of a bitch. Fantastic. Fantastic. You know the best.
That client of yours, the Swiss, you think he'd still be interested in this edition?
I have Wicked on my ass. I already told him I had no part of this operation.
Except 10%.
20%. The Swiss was my client.
No deal.
15 for my children's sake.
You don't have any children.
I'm still young. Give me time.
10.
From there, we then get to see Johnny Depp attending a lecture by what's his name? I think his name's Baron. I think his name is. Can't remember his name, but he's like the protagonist in the film, and he's watching his lecture.
Baudin was probably first to attempt to establish a system, if the term system may be applied to the Middle Ages, classifying the contemporary perceptions of evil. Baudin we find one of the first definitions of the word witch. I quote, "A witch is a person who, though cognizant of the laws of God, endeavors to act through the medium of a pact with the devil." To assist them in their work, many witches kept familiars, that is to say, creatures such as cats or toads in which supernatural spirits or demons were thought to reside. For those of you, ladies and gentlemen, who wish to delve more deeply into the controversial subject of witchcraft, a great deal of relevant information may be found in the following works: Nicolas Remy's Generolatria Libri and Compendium.
So after the lecture, the guy then takes Johnny Depp over to see his book collections, which are pretty much made up of all books about Lucifer.
You're privileged, Mr. Corso. Very few people ever set foot in here. This is my private collection. Some bibliophiles specialize in Gothic novels, others in books of hours. All my own rare editions have the same protagonist, the devil. May I take a look? Yes.
And then he takes Johnny Depp over. I think Johnny Depp's name is Corso in this film. I'm not quite sure. I'm terrible with names. It's an old man thing again. He takes him over to show him the main book that he's brought him to see, which is the Book of the Ninth Gate.
You're familiar with it?
Yes, Venice, 1666. The author and printer Aristide Torquay was burned by the Holy Inquisition, together with all his works. Only 3 copies survived.
One.
Catalog lists 3 copies surviving in private ownership: Fargus, the Kessler, and the Helper.
It's true. You know your business, but you're mistaken nonetheless. According to my own research, only one is authentic.
Well, 3 are known.
That's the trouble.
Where'd you get it?
I bought it from Telfer.
Telfer?
Yes, he finally sold it to me the day before he killed himself.
Right. So while Johnny Depp is actually looking through the book at the writing and the carvings that are in there, the pictures of the carvings, he's telling him about the book. About there's 3 copies of the book, but only one of them is authentic. And he wants him to find the other 2 books, just to sort of like compare the 2 sort of books together, to see what the differences are. So that's what he's got Johnny Depp there for. Because Johnny Depp is a bit of like a sort of a book detective, if you like.
Are you a religious man, Mr. Corso? I mean, do you believe in the supernatural?
I believe in my percentage. Don't you get dizzy standing there? What is it that you want from me, Balkan?
I want you to go to Europe and investigate. The other 2 copies are in Portugal and France. I want you to find some way of comparing them with mine. Every page, every engraving, the binding, everything. I'm convinced only one is authentic. I want to know which.
That could be an expensive trip.
So he's persuaded Johnny Depp to do this by money. He's given him a check. He wants him to go into Europe to find the other 2 books and compare them. So Johnny starts going to the libraries and starts sort of like looking up the history of the books. So as you can see, Johnny Depp is sort of going around the library and reading up on a book, and he's being followed by a woman who's got like sort of like a khaki coat and blonde hair. I'm not going to say too much about her because she comes into the story quite a bit, and I don't want to give any spoilers. So she sort of seems to be following him about. Anyway, once he's done that, he then goes and visits the wife of the guy at the beginning that hung himself, because the Ninth Gate book that he's got from that guy was owned by that guy at the beginning who sold it to him, and then he committed suicide. So he's gone to see the wife.
Isn't this one of my husband's books?
Right. It was in his collection until very recently. He sold it to a client of mine. I'm trying to authenticate it.
He sold it, you say? How strange. This was one of his most treasured possessions.
He never mentioned the sale.
No, it's news to me. Who bought it?
A private collector.
May I know his name?
I'm afraid that's confidential.
So as you can see, the conversation with the wife was a bit strange, because obviously she didn't realise he sold the book, or did she? Because it's what says one of his most valuable possessions, or is it? Anyway, so after that, Johnny Depp goes back to his flat, which he finds has already been broken into. Anyway, the next day he takes the book to his friend at the rare bookshop to go through it and stuff and show him, and he's asking him to hide it, because he's sort of like got this thing that things are happening, people following him, and his house is broken into, and he doesn't want the sort of book to be stolen, so he's asked him to hide it into the bookshop.
What does he do for it? I don't suppose he plans to sell it. He wants me to compare it with the other two surviving copies, which are in Portugal and France. So, I'm off to Europe. Compare it? Yeah. Only one of the three is authentic, he says. Well, this looks genuine enough. Christ, it's gotta be worth $1 million. Take care of it. That's why I'm here. I need you to stash it for me. Because I'm starting to see things. Like what? Uninvited visitors, unfamiliar faces. I don't trust anyone, not even Balkan.
And that's all I'm telling you. Well, I'm going to tell you a bit more. So he wants to go to investigate these other books, okay? So he's looking for these other books to compare them, because there are differences in the books. There's like on the engravings that are in there are little differences, like who the engraving's done by, and little things that are missing on some and another. But I believe that all three books are genuine, but they're all got these engravings, and if you put these sort of engravings from each ones that have got the Lucifer signature on it, you then have all 9 engravings to open the 9th gate. So that's why this guy is wanting him to investigate and get these sort of like about these books and the differences. So does Johnny Depp do that? Does he manage to get those other books? Are the people that got them willing to part with them? When he goes into Europe, like I said, he seems to be followed by other people. Are they still following him? Are they going to chase him, pursue him? Are they after the same thing? Why does he want these books? Why does this guy want these engravings? You need to find out and watch the film. So that is my little synopsis of The Ninth Gate. What do I think of the film? The film is amazing. It's an amazing movie. It's so gripping. Although it's not the most action-packed film, it's not a gory film, there's no jump scares, but because it's one of my favourite subject matters, the demonic sort of genre in horror, it's one of my go-to sort of like horrors, and I love it. And I love things like about old rare books and things like this. I think all that sort of really history and really, really cool. And to think that some of these books might be dangerous, you know, and this book is dangerous because obviously there's people pursuing it, and there's reasons behind that, because apparently the book was written by the devil himself, but again, we don't know anything about that. But if you watch the story and it unfolds, and you can see There is some action sequences on there, and some lots of sort of like almost Sherlock Holmesy sort of investigation here, which I really love too. Sorry about that. It's just Sullivan bashing the tripod around. So yeah, it was a great film. Hello, mate. Hello. Here he is. Look, and it was a really cool film. The pluses of the film, although it's DVD, the transfer is really cool. There isn't a UK Blu-ray version of this, sadly. Somebody needs to pick this up. Again, Arrow, if you're watching this, pick this up. It could do with a great sort of like restoration, but it still looks really nice, really cool. I doubt if Arrow would get it because it's Universal, and I doubt if Universal would do anything with it. Acting is superb. To me, this is one of Johnny Depp's best roles ever. I mean, I loved him in From Hell, and I love him in this. He's great in horror films. He's really cool. And he's really cool. The acting is superb. The cast is spot on, and it's brilliant. The locations are really awesome too. And the storyline is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. The negatives, there probably is a couple. I think there would be a core if there would have been some more around the sort of demonic-y side of there, and maybe a little bit of sort of like gore. There are some killings in there, but the killings are sort of based on some of the engravings that are in the book. So I'm not going to tell you too much because I don't want to spoil it. But that was really cool. Not many negatives, but like I said, and the only real big negative is it needs a new transfer. But that's it. So what do I score this film? I'm going to score this an essential watch and give it a 10 out of 10. There's nothing wrong with it, apart from it needs an updating with a transfer. And that's my review of The Ninth Gate. Have any of you seen it? It's a great film, really cool. If you have, let me down below, let me know what you think of it. To me, it's one of Johnny Depp's strongest sort of roles. I mean, I know he's done a lot of films like the Pirates of the Caribbean and all these are popular, but to me, this is him at his best. He'd done all these sort of films before he did the sort of Pirates of the Caribbean. He's been in a few horror films, obviously From Hell, Sleepy Hollow, Sweeney Todd, A Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one, and of course The Ninth Gate. So he's been in quite a few horror films with Johnny Depp, and I do like him in them. I think he's a really good sort of like he really gets into the role, a bit like sort of Robert De Niro. You know, he really gets into the role. He sort of prepares for it, not just acts it, but he prepares for the role to become that person. And I like that a lot. So there we go. I've scored that a 10 out of 10. Before my next review, go and check out some new channels for me, or some other YouTube channels. Check out Horror Hands. Got a great channel going there. Go and check out Horror in Todge and Sarah of Horror and Pizzawell and I Am Ice Lord, RS Designs and The Horror Geek and Man v Film. Check all these amazing channels out, guys. There's loads of film reviews, and there's some sort of reviews on some of the channels of Universal statue busts being painted, and there's some of like reviews of masks and all sorts of things. So check them all out. Until next time, have a spooky October. Hope it's going well for you. Look after each other. Look after yourself. And I'll see you again soon.